What's going on, Liverpool fans? Back with another video to talk about the non-event that was at Anfield yesterday. The non-event, basically Liverpool versus Manchester City, which ended up turning into some kind of chess match where nobody wanted to make the first move, and of course culminating in City missing that penalty when, in truth, I mean, if I were the manager, Gabriel Jesus would have taken that penalty. I have no idea why. I'm thankful for why he's done it, Guardiola, but I have no idea why he allowed Riyad Mahrez to take the penalty and to then, end up making an American football kind of a kick over the bar. And it ends in a draw, it ends in a 0-0 draw. Well, there's not really much we can say about the game. It was just, as I said at the beginning of the video, it was like a chess match, and nobody wanted to make the first move. Nobody wanted to take a risk to win the game, and it's a bit worrying that Liverpool have not been able to win in the last 4 games. But if you look at the calibre and the quality of opponents that we've faced, twice against Chelsea, one in the League Cup, and Napoli in the Champions League, and now City in the Premier League. So it's been, probably four of the toughest games that we could have got during any time during the season. So to play them all at once, in a short space of time, basically, I think is better for Liverpool, because after the international break, the fixtures that we will have, the opponents that we will meet, is going to be much easier for Liverpool. Now, this is not saying that Liverpool should take the games lightly. You should always concentrate and always be at 100%, even when you play the lower teams in the league, the mid-table teams, because this is football. You only need one chance. You only need one corner, one mistake in the defence, and the opposition ends up scoring. So no matter who they are, could be a weak team, could be the bottom of the league, could be one of the worst teams in Europe, but we've seen it happen before, where supposed big teams, the best teams in the world, lose to these poor teams. So you need to be concentrated, you need to want to win every game, and you need to go out with the mentality to score an early goal. You cannot leave it further along the line, basically. You need to score early and win these games. For instance, when we come back from the international break, on the 20th of October, we play Huddersfield Town away. So that's a key game for Liverpool. We need to win that game to stay in touch, because there's 3 teams now locked on 20 points: Manchester City, Chelsea, and Liverpool. Now it's going to start becoming serious. From now on, it's going to start meaning something. So whichever one of these teams makes mistakes, and whichever one of these teams starts to fall away, then their chance of winning the league is going to be finished, basically. By the time we come to, December, January, whoever starts to lose maybe a couple of points, or, a couple of games now, is going to start to fall away. And they're going to be left behind by the other 2 teams. So I feel that Liverpool need to now go on a run, an unbeaten run again. Of course, we're unbeaten in the league. We haven't lost a single game, but rescuing the Chelsea game in the last seconds, and then the draw we had yesterday against Man City, I feel were decent results, because in previous seasons Liverpool would have thrown the points away and ended up losing the game. So it's a very good, solid start to the season for Liverpool. 6 wins and 2 draws out of the first 8 games. With a total of 20 points from a maximum 24 points. We've ended up taking 20 points. So all in all, it's looking very good for Liverpool. But we have concerns. It's not like everything is perfect in the team. The front line again yesterday was very disappointing. The amount of times that we got into decent positions and we're not able to cause teams any problems anymore. Like we were at the start of the season, or even against PSG, where we totally annihilated them. It ended up 3-2, but we should have been out of sight before they even got a goal back to make it 2-1. And then, of course, they got the equaliser, but we won it in the final seconds through Firmino's outstanding goal in the penalty area. If we can perform like that, then there's no team in this league that can stop Liverpool. I'm telling you now. It doesn't matter if it's Man City, Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham. We've already done Tottenham anyway. We've got a point against Chelsea and a point against City. So we've played 3 of the top 6 already. And when we come back from the break, we'll be playing Arsenal on I think it's the 5th of November, 4th or 5th of November at the Emirates Stadium. And we have to make sure that we get something out of that game. If we can't win, we get a draw again. But we should definitely go there seeking to win the game, because we've got enough quality. We've got enough firepower to beat them. You know, even last year we should have beat them at the Emirates. We were 2-1 up, 2-0 up, ended up falling 3-2 behind. Managed to get an equaliser through Firmino to make it 3-3. And I think there was still something like 20 minutes to go, 15, 20 minutes to go. We could have won the game, but because we conceded 3 goals in about 5 or 6 minutes, we started to become a bit frightened, a bit, a bit nervous about the final minutes of the game. So we didn't risk it. You know, we didn't want to risk going forward and then getting caught on the counter attack by Arsenal, who actually became confident after they got those 3 goals. Because before that, we were whipping them. You know, it was the same performance like we did at Anfield, where we smashed them 4-0. It was going towards that again at the Emirates. It could easily have been another 3 or 4-0 to Liverpool. But all of a sudden, you know, one silly mistake in the defence, and then a massive clanger by Mignolet in goal, and of course Ozil's chip over Mignolet in the penalty area. And all of a sudden we find ourselves 3-2 behind to a team that hadn't even been in the bloody game until that moment. Until, you know, 5 minutes prior to the goals, they weren't even in the game. They were just hanging on for dear life, Arsenal. They were just expecting to get walloped 3 or 4-0. And as I said, I mean, last year's defence was very bad, Liverpool's defence. And because we had goalkeepers like Mignolet and Karius in goal, then the opposition always think that they have a chance. They always feel that they have a chance, because these 2 goalkeepers are, you know, very bad at handling pressure, very bad at trying to save shots or coming off their line and catching the ball. So, you know, opposition teams always know that they can get a goal back against these kind of players. But now Liverpool have a quality team, a quality defence, you know, with Alisson in goal, making vital saves at vital times. And of course, Virgil van Dijk, who is like a defence on his own. He's like a complete defence on his own. And he doesn't allow teams to get into the area. Of course, he gave away the penalty yesterday, but, you know, there's only so much he can do in games. And it was a bit of a risky tackle, but he had to try and do something to stop Sane. And he gave the penalty away. But thankfully to God, you know, they missed the penalty. Mahrez, of all the players that could have taken it, Mahrez took the penalty and he puts it over the bar, and we're ecstatic, the Liverpool fans around the world. So yeah, I think the fair result for the game was a 0-0 draw, because neither team did enough to win it, in my opinion. And it's just 2 good teams cancelling each other out on the day. And of course, with Arsenal, Chelsea and Tottenham winning, the points gap closed a bit on Liverpool. But, you know, it is what it is. And we have to, as I said, when we come back from the international break, we have to be on our game. We have to be on our A game and start winning games in a row now. You know, 3 or 4 games in a row. That will start to open up the gap again with the teams below us. And if we can get back to the top of the league, you know, we're still joint top of the league now. It's not as if we're behind the other teams, only on goal difference. But if we can somehow get to the top again and stay there until December, January time, then I feel that Liverpool will go on to win the Premier League title. I have no doubt, because we've got the capability, we've got the quality. But as I said before, there's something going on in the front line of Liverpool. You know, Firmino, Salah and Mane are not playing together. They're not playing as a unit as they were last year. And there seems to be some kind of lack of confidence, or something's going on, because they just don't seem to be gelling at all. I mean, yesterday again, Salah gets into the penalty area in the second half, and he skies the shot. It goes over the bar. I mean, last year Salah would have chipped the goalkeeper. He would have tried something audacious and probably it would have come off. Or, he would have taken it quickly and put it into the corner of the net underneath Ederson, who was coming out of his goal. And it would have been 1-0 to Liverpool. And he snatched at the shot and he puts it over the bar, miles over the bar. And you could see on his face, I mean, he looks like a player that is really lacking in confidence. He looks like a player that is rushing everything. He's not taking his time. And yeah, you can tell in the game it's not good for Liverpool. Even Mane doesn't look good. I mean, he started the season on fire, Sadio Mane, but the last 2 or 3 games he looks, devoid of ideas. He looks kind of, I don't know, tired. He's not running after balls properly. He's not going past players, with his electrifying pace. There's a lot of things going wrong for Liverpool up front. So I don't know. I mean, for the Huddersfield game, when we come back, I mean, personally, I would probably put Shaqiri in there, and I'd go for Sturridge and leave a couple of the players up front out of the team because they're not looking good at all. They seem very, very devoid of ideas. Finishing ability is gone from these players, and it's costing us points, at the moment. So yeah, all in all, Liverpool fans, it wasn't a bad result, but we need to do much better when we come back from the break. In 2 weeks' time, we need to start winning games in a row, 3 or 4, even the European games, against Red Star Belgrade. We should be getting 6 points from those 2 games, both home and away. We should be beating this Serbian team easily because they are the whipping boys in our Champions League group. They are the whipping boys, and we should be demolishing them, putting them away. So that's about it, Liverpool fans. I mean, Klopp disappointed me in the second half because he didn't bring Shaqiri on. And it was so obvious that Mane and Salah couldn't hit a barn door with a banjo. They were so bad. Even Firmino, they were so bad playing together that they couldn't score in a week of football the way they were playing. If they had played for a whole week, they still wouldn't have been able to find the back of the net. So we need to change something in the front line. We need to play a different kind of football, a different system of football, and try and utilise Shaqiri and Sturridge and even Fabinho. Despite all this, all our complaints, Liverpool fans, and all our criticism of Jordan Henderson, Klopp seems to think that he's a good player. For God's sake, you've got to wake up, Jurgen, man. You've got to wake up. This man is not good enough to be in Liverpool's midfield. He's not good enough. He doesn't add enough to the game. He has energy, but he doesn't use his energy properly. He just plays the ball safely, sideways, backwards. Even in the second half, where we had chances to go forwards, and you could hear the crowd grumbling because they were getting pissed off with Henderson. His first thought is to turn back and give the ball back when he had space and time to play a forward pass, and he just automatically, it's just like it's ingrained in his mind now. He just turns back and gives the ball to somebody else. Not adding anything to the game, not trying to influence the game. You can't have a midfielder like this, honestly. You can't have midfielders like this. Even Wijnaldum, poor again. Some people saying that he played well. Are you joking? Are you taking the piss? Some of our Liverpool fans. What did he contribute in the 90 minutes? That tells you that he played a good game. All right, he doesn't give the ball away like Henderson does, but he doesn't add anything as well, does he? He just keeps playing it sideways. And he takes too long on the ball, Wijnaldum. This is the Premier League, mate. You've got to play quickly. Play your pass quickly and then start moving into another position where they can find you again, your teammates. The criticism I have with Wijnaldum, he just stands still. He sticks to one position and he doesn't move from there. You've got to move about the pitch a bit. You've got to get into different positions. Go further up the pitch. When you play a pass to Mane, Salah and Firmino, start making a move into the penalty area or start making a move just outside the penalty area so that if, a cross comes in and it deflects off somebody, it could fall in front of you and then you have a chance to score a goal. But Henderson and Wijnaldum just don't seem to have the knowledge. They don't seem to have the belief that they can do anything for Liverpool. going forwards. And yeah, as soon as Milner came off, we lacked a lot of stuff. We lacked the energy, the passion, the enthusiasm that he brings to the game. He's just a quality player, Milner, for his age. Now, Naby Keita did well, but maybe it was too early for him. Maybe he's not over the injury that he picked up in Napoli, the back spasm that he had. He didn't seem tuned into the game as well. I'm one of his biggest fans, and I wanted him to play against Napoli and against no, not Napoli, against who was it last week? I think Chelsea, wasn't it? Yeah. And of course, yesterday I wanted him to start from the beginning, but Klopp just seems to have this thing with Henderson and Wijnaldum where he doesn't want to change them at all. In his press conference, he talks about trying to treat the players right. In other words, changing players because they're tired or they're not in form. So if that's the case, Jurgen, then why is Wijnaldum and Henderson in the team? Because if you ask me, the last 4 games, they haven't done anything for Liverpool. Since we've started to drop points or to be knocked out of the League Cup and to lose the first game in the Champions League, we haven't done anything in midfield of any note. And it's coincided with Wijnaldum and Henderson being in the middle. Now, if we can't see that as a club, as a fan base, then there's something wrong with us, honestly. That means that we're actually deluding ourselves. We're actually not seeing the things happening on the pitch, and we're denying, the truth, basically, the reality. And the reality of the situation is that we need to buy a playmaker in January. Somebody like Nabil Fekir, because it's not even a joke anymore. Or even if we get to the top of the league with this midfield again, when we start playing the good teams, the quality teams, we're not going to be able to do anything, and we're going to start dropping away again. So for me, as a Liverpool fan of 30 years, Ahmet Gosa, I've been supporting this club for 30 years, this team, and I've seen the high points of Liverpool. I've seen Liverpool winning the league. I've seen Liverpool winning the European Cup, getting to European Cup finals, even in the 2000s, even in the the 2005 where we beat Milan on penalties, we won the European Cup, and then 2 years later the disappointment in Athens, where we lost the game 2-1. We actually played well in that game in the final, but you can't win them all. This is how it is in football. You can't win them all, especially against the great teams of Europe. You're going to lose a few as well. So, but the worrying thing is with Jurgen Klopp, we've started to lose finals now since he's come to the club. It's his anniversary. I think today is his 3rd anniversary of becoming Liverpool manager. But the worrying trend is we've done well under his stewardship, under his manager. And since he's become manager, we've done very well. We've got to finals, but we should have won at least one of those finals. And it's very disappointing to think that we've lost three important finals. The League Cup final, the Europa League final, and then the Champions League final. So from now on, we need to have a stronger belief, a stronger mentality when we start getting further on in the cup competitions or in the league. We need to be able to handle the pressure. We need to be able to go, 5-10 games unbeaten and start picking up points and going to the top of the league. When we do that, I think City will fall away, Chelsea, because they're not perfect in every department as well. They're going to start losing points. But it's all down to Liverpool. Liverpool have to keep applying the pressure. Liverpool have to keep, breathing down their necks, basically, and not giving them any time, not giving them any points lead, basically. So going into the international break, Liverpool fans, that's all we can really talk about. I mean, it was just a disappointing game because it was made out to be one of the biggest games in Premier League for quite a long time. 2 title challengers going head-to-head at Anfield. And everybody expected there to be goals because these teams thrive on attacking football. They play good, fast attacking football, fluent football. And it didn't materialise, did it? I mean, it turned out to be a very drab, dire kind of match. And we cancelled each other out, basically. And with the easier fixture list for, the likes of Arsenal, Tottenham and Chelsea, they all picked up 3 points. So when we come back from the break, we need to win those games against Huddersfield and against Cardiff. And of course, the 2 Champions League games against Red Star Belgrade. We should be winning all those games. And then we go to the Emirates on the 5th of November, I think it is, the 4th or the 5th. And we need to pick up something from that game. We can't afford to lose again. You know, Arsenal are looking very lethal going forwards. I saw their game yesterday against Fulham at Craven Cottage, and even when it was 1-1, you could see that they were on fire. Their front players were gelling, they were creating chances, they were playing fast, attacking football, like in the previous seasons at Arsenal, before Wenger started to ruin the team. You know, that they were playing much like the old Arsenal in the early 2000s, or the 2009, 2010, this kind of era, the Thierry Henry era, you know, Overmars, Bergkamp, this kind of football again, and Robin van Persie, they were looking very good, very potent, and it's a bit of a worry, you know, despite us having a very good defence, a very strong defence, we need to make sure that we score against Arsenal, because we can't go there and try and hold that for a 0-0. It's not going to happen against Arsenal. I'm telling you, they have a very good strike force this year. You know, the likes of Lacazette, Aubameyang, Mkhitaryan, Ozil, even Iwobi. Iwobi looked like a world beater yesterday. Alex Iwobi. You know, they played a poor team in Fulham, but still, you know, it takes a lot of quality football to get those goals. And even Aaron Ramsey, you know, Ramsey was linked with Liverpool. So if we can acquire Ramsey in January, that would be a great signing. I mean, he came onto the pitch and within a few minutes he got that goal. And the sheer class of the man, the quality, you know, he's able to do these kind of, you know, he scored these kind of cheeky goals. And I would love to have a player like him in the team. I really would, because he will add a lot of quality to Liverpool's midfield. And he will drive the team on. Instead of, you know, Henderson, who just gives it to the players on the side or turns back, he will try and play in Mane, Salah and Firmino, or he will get himself into the penalty area, into a scoring position, and try and get us goals. You know, he has that quality, he has that belief, and I think the long years at Arsenal have really, you know, put paid to his qualities. He's not the same player, but when he comes to Liverpool, if he does, then Klopp will definitely get the best out of him, I feel. So we wait to see, Liverpool fans. We go into the international break now. It's going to be a bit of a boring, you know, 13, 14 days for Liverpool fans, but we're very excited for the coming months of the season. You know, we could be looking at some very big successes, you know, both in the Champions League and in the Premier League. We could be there until the end in the league, I'm telling you. But we need to put a run together now, and we need to hope that the front three start gelling and start discovering their quality again, start scoring goals for fun. Because when they do that, you know that Liverpool are going to be blowing teams away. We know that Liverpool are going to be blitzing teams again. You know, so it's all down to Klopp, and it's all down to them having a rest now, if they can have a bloody rest, because they're probably going to be with their national teams now. So we don't know what's going to happen. Are they going to play in those games? Are they going to be rested? God knows. So hopefully they come back fresh and fit to play in the first 11. And as I said before, I hope that Klopp utilises Shaqiri and Sturridge, and he can bring them off the bench, you know, Salah and Firmino or Salah and Mane. But we need to have at least one fast player on the team. So I'm thinking that either Mane or Salah needs to stay on the pitch and just put Shaqiri up there and put Sturridge into the centre forward position, and then try and get balls into him, try and get crosses into him, because he's capable of scoring headers. He showed it against Paris Saint-Germain, and he's able to score goals from outside the penalty area, like the outstanding goal he scored against Chelsea. So, all in all, Liverpool fans, not to worry, we're doing pretty well for the start of the season. We've won our first game in the Champions League. We lost to Napoli, but the next two fixtures we should be getting 6 points. So that will stand us in good stead to qualify from the group into the last 16. And we carry on our march in the Premier League. Hopefully, start winning games again, start blowing the teams away, especially at Anfield, and going into the new year with renewed optimism. Hopefully, a very successful 2019 coming up for Liverpool. Yeah, we wait to see what's going to happen. regarding other issues, I mean, there's not really much else to talk about. I mean, the game yesterday was dire. Oh, of course, Milner. Now, hopefully, Milner is not injured. You know, he had to come off early, and that was a bit of a worry for me because he's been performing outstandingly, James Milner, for his age. And the man is tired. He's had to play so much football, but still, he's the fittest player in the team. He really is. And he tries to go forward. He tries to create something for the team. So we really need him for the midfield, for the upcoming games, and for the rest of the season. Hopefully, it's nothing serious, and he can rest and recuperate over the 2 weeks, and then come back flying again in the team. And as they say, you know, we go again, Liverpool fans. We go again. Come on, you mighty Reds, and we want the Premier League title this year. Come on, my son, we can do it. You know, just believe in yourselves. Just have the confidence as we did at the start of the season. Just have the quality again. Bring back the quality, and we can go unbeaten for a long spell now in the Premier League. I think we've gotten over the tough fixtures now until we play Arsenal, as I said, and then the next big game after that is probably Man United. But they're doing shit this year, so we should be looking to beat them at Anfield. You know, Mourinho seems to have lost the plot. Even though they won against Newcastle, they still look like a very mid-table team, an average team. And the way they conceded the goals, we should be able to exploit that. And we should be able to beat them easily at Anfield in December. So that's about it, Liverpool fans. Thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Make your comments in the comment section below. It's going to be very much appreciated. And this is your main man, Ahmet. And I'm signing out, basically. Hope to see you after the international break. Take care of yourselves, and on to Huddersfield in 2 weeks' time. Hopefully another 3 points, and we start getting to the top of the league again and stay there until the end of the season. Let's wait and see what happens. See you later on, Liverpool fans. God bless.